What is up, YouTube? BB368 coming at you with a deck profile for a deck I played this past Wednesday at my locals. Obviously, as you can see, is Ritual Beasts. They perform fairly well. Every one of my rounds went to game 3, so it was a little bit of a back and forth. First round, he went against Spirals, which he took the win, but he went first game, won. I went first, second game, I won. So this is a very first turn setup deck. You definitely want to be going first, setting up your field and hoping that your opponent can break through and hoping that you perform your combos very well, because this is a very complicated combo based deck if you guys are not aware. Basically, all the monsters in this deck can only be special summoned once per turn, so you have to be very careful with your combos, trying to remember what you summoned when and whatnot to be sure that you can just keep on comboing off and basically grabbing more trap cards with Ulti Hawk. But yeah, first round went against Spirals, lost. Second round was technically a bye, but I played against a Danger Orcus player, and that went to game 3, and I won. It didn't count for the tournament, but I'll take that as a win. Third round, I went against Thunder Dragons, which has a very good matchup against Thunder Dragons overall. There's a card in here that I'll show you that basically ruins them. And round 4, I think that was by the end of the tournament, I played against a Danger Orcus player again, and I lost. So 2-2 overall. Again, every game went to game 3. Not too bad, but let's just get right into it, shall we? Obviously, first card we're going to be using in our deck is obviously 3 of the Winda, which is definitely a card that the deck needed, because as you can see, it not only says Spiritual Beast Tamer. Like, that's the big thing on the writing, was that it's not just a tamer, but it's also a spiritual beast, because in this deck, basically, it was either one or the other. She covers both bases, so that's definitely very helpful, especially if you have a tamer and her, to be able to go into whichever place. Or since another nice thing is that she's a level 4, and if you have another spiritual beast monster, you can XCs, you can go into whatever you need to with her. So that's definitely nice. Plus, her effect is very helpful. If she is destroyed by your opponent's card, by battle, or by card effect, you can special summon any monster from your main deck or your extra deck. So definitely helps getting out the Ulti Gaia. To my understanding, you would not be able to use his effect because of it wasn't summoned correctly, but having a 3200 beater on the field is definitely helpful. Obviously, you're going to be playing Triple Elder. This is going to be your extra normal summon, so you draw him with a spiritual beast. You're going to be basically going right into your combos. To Lara, basically she is the special summon from the graveyard, so that again is all what these guys are for. Double Wen, basically the same thing as Lara, except she aims for the banish zone, so again, an easy way to get your combos off. And Zafrika, basically just another Lara, but she's a different name, so always having a different monster name always helps with the combos, because again, each of these can only be special summon once every turn, so always good to have another name to add into the pile. That's all your tamers. Then we go right into the beasts. Obviously, Triple Hawk, which is your gold Sark of the deck. 9 times out of 10, you will not be adding that card after that second turn that you activate the effect. You will basically be using it to combo off the entire turn. Then you run Triple Rampengu. I used to run 2 of this, but now with the way things are, I will be running 3. Basically, this, for those who don't know, this guy, you banish a extra deck monster, and you can send another monster of the same type from your deck to the graveyard. So it deck thins and also allows you to set up for more plays. Some people only play 1 Apelio. I play 2. It just seems necessary. Plus, if I have it at the right time, I can beef my guys up to beef them up by 1500 attack in 1 turn. And again, for those who do not know, during either player's turn, which is the one thing I like about this card, during either player's turn, you can banish 1 Spiritual Beast card from your graveyard, banish it, and all my monsters gain 500 attack for the turn. Again, most of these Spiritual Beast monsters, their effects are not a hard once per turn. It only says this card, so when it's banished and comes back, you can activate it again. You normal summon, activate it again. it can just keep going and going. Plus, it's on either player's turn, so you're loading it like basically this guy goes. You basically can banish up to 3 on your own turn and then 1 on your opponent's turn. So that's 4 cards you're loading up for Ulti Canhawk to be able to go off on the next turn. Then I play 1 Petalfin. Definitely need to run one of these because not just the fact that it's another name, but it's definitely easy to use against Thunder Dragons. Just bouncing off their fusion monsters off the field definitely came in very handy against them during my Thunder Dragon matchups. Now we go into the spells. I run Triple Twin Twister. A lot of cards, just like Apelio, rely on having Spiritual Beast monsters in the grave. I am also running this because there will be one more change I'm going to make to the deck. I'm thinking of adding in, I believe it's called Fusion Substitute or Fusion Substitution, whatever the card is. Basically, the card states that this card can be used in place of polymerization. That part does not matter. What matters to me is the fact that when that card is in the graveyard, I can banish it, target 1 fusion monster that was in my grave, return it to the extra deck, and then draw a card. I find that to be very helpful just in case. I mean, it was not the case this past Wednesday. Nobody ever did get to sell them or destroy my Ulti Canhawk, but it's just in case. So definitely maybe a side deck card in case anything like that should happen to my Ulti Canhawk, because if I lose Ulti Canhawk, I can't go off with my combos, I can't go searching. I'm basically dead in the water, and I have to hope that I can draw into my outs, basically. Then we play triple Called by the Grave. This card came in very handy against the Thunder Dragons. And for most of my matchups, the only deck it did not see much play with was Spirals, because again, this is me getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! So it was a very interesting... Honestly, I was just going off what the guy was saying. The text is way too much on half of the cards that I'm seeing nowadays, which, please, Konami, can we get like some sort of shorthand for these cards, because you're just adding in so much text that's saying negations, this and that. It's like, can we get like simple text where, you don't have to be writing out when this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. You could just put pierce. Ta-da. Problem solved. Can we get something shorthanded, please? That would be very helpful. Obviously, then we're going to be going into 1 Gold Stark. You needed to be able to combo off with your plays. And again, if you're opening with this and Canahawk plus like Emergency Teleport, which obviously you play 1 of, you basically have a combo already set up right then and there. You're already set to go off for that turn to be able to search and shit. Next we have obviously 1 D-Fissure. You do play somewhat of an anti-meta graveyard banishing kind of deck with this, which is the nice thing I like about it, is that if I had D-Fissure, or obviously if I have Macrocosmos, which I do play in this, it doesn't affect me whatsoever. I want all my stuff banished so I can use my Ulti Canhawk to search. So, doesn't hurt me, hurts everybody else, I'll take it. 1 Foolish Burial to set up my Zafrika or my Lara. Just seemed like I wasn't playing this before, but after seeing some of the things that happened on Wednesday, definitely needs to be main deck now, because there was a few times where Lara would have been very helpful if I had a Foolish ready to go. Then we go into the traps, which this is the brokest part of this deck. Basically, these 6 cards right here. Steeds, for those who do not know, when this card is activated, destroying monsters up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you control, and you combo that with Ritual Beast Ambush. When this card is activated, target a Ritual Beast Tamer or a Beast in either your graveyard or your banished. Special summon them to the field. So basically, activate this, chain this. This does not target, so at resolution of this, you're going to have 4 monsters out. Contact fuse out your ulti monsters, you get another 2. You're basically blowing up 4 monsters on the field that cannot even be targeted, which is why Thunder Dragons will miss their timing, because at the activation of this, it's not destroying. So there's no way that they're going to be able to save themselves, because, again, it will miss timing. At the activation of this, when it resolves, it's going to destroy monsters on the field, and they will not be able to banish to protect, because it's already at the resolution of this card. They cannot activate their card midway through this. So the only way they're going to be able to protect their dragons is if they're running some kind of protection, like Lance or, I don't know, something else. But definitely a very good card. It was always the brokest card of the deck. I don't see this ever going away. Again, Ulti Hawk has been hit down to 1, which I did previously put up a video for that I thought it was kind of ridiculous that he hasn't been back up to 2. But to be completely honest, like, so far with everything that's going on, I mean, the way I played this past Wednesday, leaving at 1's honestly kind of fine. I mean, again, the only thing that's stopped me from searching is Ash Blossom, but even then, I'm still just gonna combo off, go into another Ulti Hawk and search again. So, you just -1 for no reason, and I'm just gonna search again. So, didn't even really matter. Then you play, obviously, triple, there can only be one. Does not affect this deck at all, because obviously all my Tamers are Psychic. And I have 1 Beast, 1 Thunder, 1 Aqua. Like, I'm running all different types of monsters in this deck. This does not affect me at all. If anything, during game 1 against Thunder Dragons that I took, this absolutely, like, wiped the field from all his Thunder Dragons. He had at least 3 fusions and 1 big monster, and I just flipped this over and sent everything to the grave. So it's like, this card definitely a staple for this deck. And obviously my last card is obviously Microcosmos, which, for those who don't know, because I did have to explain this to the Spiral player, this is not affected with Ulti Hawk. So again, it says anything that is trying to be sent to the grave is banished instead. Ulti Hawk can still add from the banished to the graveyard because it's already banished. So basically, this trying to put it back into the banish zone doesn't make sense. I believe there is a ruling for it, but overall, for those who don't know, this does not stop Ulti Hawk. Ulti Hawk is played around this card. It doesn't matter. Now we'll go into the extra deck. I will basically pull out all the things that are absolutely necessary for this deck. Everything else is basically optional. I'll show you what I am playing, but as far as what you need absolutely main deck, this is what you need for your extra. You would normally play 3, I can only find 2, but for this you're going to be playing double Ritual Beast, Kimu Falcos. Basically, when this card is Link summoned, I can banish a card from my graveyard, and then immediately I can normal summon again. So you do need to have something in your hand to be able to normal summon again to activate this effect. Basically, monsters that are in its linked zone gain 600 attacks. So you combo this with Apelio, you're gaining just from 1 boost. The monster in its extra zones that are Ritual Beasts, I believe, are gaining 1100 attack. So overall, you could technically be gaining 2100 attack if you use Ulti Apelio 3 times on 1 turn. So that's pretty freaking good. Plus, she can, just like all the other ultis, she can contact fuse out from your banish zone. So I would be running 3. Unfortunately, I can only find 2. I will hopefully be finding a 3rd one soon. Obviously, you play your 1. Ulti Hawk is your combo player. And basically, while this card is on the field, I can target 2 banished Ritual Beast cards to add them back into the graveyard to add 1 Ritual Beast card to my hand. But also, the broken thing is with its effect, it's a quick effect. All their contact fusions are quick effects. I can return this card to the extra deck, target 2 Ritual Beast monsters, 1 Tamer, 1 Beast, that are banished, and special summon them to the field. So you can basically combo this, use its first effect, target a Beast and a trap card, then chain, tag out, you would target the Beast and a Tamer. So Beast and Tamer will come out to the field, the trap card will be added to your grave, then you're adding a trap card to your hand. Very good card. Petalfin, this one never really saw the field. It's just a name, and also an easy way of getting Petalfin to my graveyard. So, never really saw much at all. Then you have regular Ulti Apelio. Basically, this is Armades. When this card attacks until the end of, I believe, damage step or damage calculation. It is unaffected by all other cards on the field. So, Mirror Force, too bad. Damage step, try to do Lance or anything else, too bad. Doesn't work. He has a 26 meter, but this does mean that he will not be affected by my own Apelio, unfortunately, but he's still a 26 meter, pretty big. And then obviously you have your Ulti Apelio, which, if summoned correctly, basically this card, as long as you have a Ritualist Beast card in your hand, you can banish it from your hand to negate any activations. And this is more than once per turn, so I can basically empty out my hand, stop you from activating anything, and then just beat over you with 3,200. A few changes I made the other day for the extra other monsters. You play 1 Phoenix, and one Cerberus, obviously, because again, you're going to be discarding from hand to destroy monsters that are a problem for you. Plus, the draws are very nice. One Link Karibo, because you can make it with Lara, Lightning Chidori, Silent Arc, Castel, and Cowboy. Cowboy never really saw much play. That can be easily swapped out for something, but these three definitely helped me out during the Thunder Dragon matchup. I absorbed one, I bounced one, and I bounced another. So again, having that Winda being a level 4 Tamer / Spiritual Beast monster definitely helps out the deck with getting out rank 4s and whatnot. Then we go into the side deck. This is what I will be playing for my side for the meta for this, just for this deck, basically. Maybe even with Salamain Greats, but for now, I'm playing with this, seeing how it does. Obviously, you're going to be playing 2 Psalm Strikes, triple Veiler, triple Ash Blossom, double Gozen. Most of the monsters in this deck are wind, so it does not affect me at all. The only time it probably will is when I'm trying to fusion. So even then, it's whatever at that point. Triple Shared Ride, and then double Anti-Spell Fragrance for the Pendulums. But overall, that's the main deck for this Spiritual Beast. Pretty fun deck. Again, you got to be very careful with how you're playing because, again, all your monsters can only be special summoned once per turn. So you definitely have to make sure your Banished Zone, your graveyard, everything else is basically all set up for you to be comboing off, getting all the advantage you can out of one turn. I believe in one turn I was able to add doubles, like at most I believe you can add, if you're doing it correctly, you can add double steeds and a single ambush off of one turn from special summoning. So again, you got to be very smart, very careful with how you're summoning, and be very aware of what you have banished and what was special summoned. But overall, let me know what you guys think. If again, is Fusion Substitute possibly a good card to get back to Alticana? Is there any other suggestions you guys have? Leave a comment down below. But basically, this is BB368 signing out.